vanish matcha. Achim.
What? It's short as shit.
Just tell it.
Get over here. Get on the hot seat.
The hot seat.
Get over here, big boy.
The hot seat.
Big man.
Oh, Danny, come here.
I'm right here.
Oh, okay. Well, that's close enough. So, when was it that this happened? Okay, well, it was raining a lot, and the field was soaked. Wearing a white tank top, really tight, like baseball pants that were like cut off with like scissors, like up above his knees, and like his mom's white socks.
I can see this in my head.
And
already.
he was sprinting, and he was like, because the baseball, he goes to all the baseball practices, and and what they do is they do like sprints from like one side of the field to the other.
Yeah.
He was doing that, and then he would do one of them, and then he'd run it, and he'd slide, like he'd find a puddle, and he'd slide through the puddle, and he'd get up, and then he'd like crouch over, like he was like leading off a second base, and he'd like crouch over, and he'd dive back into the grass, and he wouldn't go on the field. He didn't want to go on the. It was like he didn't want to get dirty, but he wanted to get grass stains all over all his white clothing and his mom's socks. And so he was like diving back through the grass and into that same puddle, and then he'd get up and he'd like crouch a little more, and he'd look back and he'd like take off sprinting, and he'd go to third base, but like on the grass for like
And this
behind
is in
third
the
base.
pouring rain.
Yes. And we're hiding behind a bush up on the street, up on Hartley Street,
Wait, so he's
watching
all
him.
by himself?
Yeah. Yeah. And he was running, and he'd run, and he'd like dive head first, and he'd slide really far, and he'd get up, and he'd like look around, and he'd be like, and then he noticed us watching him because Ryan Damian was dying, and he was laughing so hard, and he looked up, and he's like, and he like put his like shirt over his neck, and he started to like walk away like really slowly, and he walked me in the dugout, and he just like peeked around the dugout, and like every like couple minutes he'd like look over the dugout, and he'd like look around, and then we like he didn't see us after a while because we were like really like hidden in this bush, and we were just soaked, and so he like started walking back out, and he like walked down on the field and got back on the grass, like went off of first base and just took off, and he slid into second, and then dove back into second, and then slid into third, and did that a lot. And then Danny and I we were walking back to Danny's house in the rain, and he was at the softball field, and did he have a ball with him? I think he just had a bat.
He had a bat. And he'd get grass, and he'd put it in he'd compact it like a little ball, and he'd throw it.
And he'd hit it, and then he'd like bat flip the bat, and then like run around the bases and like slide in each base. And it was like, you don't slide on a home run, but he wanted to anyway. So he was sliding in each base, and he'd go and make another grass wad, and hit it, and then he saw us, and he stopped and went and hid in the dugout.
Living his dream.
It was when smartphones were first getting like popular, and
Yeah.
we were like sitting in class, and like David leaned over with his phone. He's like pointing out, he's like, "I'm downloading porn."
I still remember that. Like,
And like like the video like
Yeah.
loading and top. He's like,
I
"I'm gonna go
remember
home and
hearing
jack
about
off."
that. That was when the iPhones were like kind of curved, like
Yeah.
I still
iPhone
remember like
3.
I could just remember like Louis and David were like the first people like with iPhones.
They had iPod touches.
Yeah.
And, like
They're like the first people with that kind of.
They're like this.
we broke it in.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had that one, and
Yeah.
we broke it in Reno. Not at the jazz thing. We went to Reno with my parents, and we went sledding with it in his pocket. Yeah. And then he's like, "Ah!" And I was like, "You're just wearing normal jeans. Why would you leave that?"
Oh yeah, look at this.
We were talking about like Chris Pine, but then it cut out the Chris Pine part, so it's just like he's alright, but he's not the cut. So we're just gonna edit that into other videos.
So, what do you think of Joe's dad? He's alright.
How to present it.
100%.
I was so afraid
I'm not
Rodgers was going to show that. He talked about that in class one time. He goes, "Oh yeah, some of my former students, they made a video about presenting, and it was very nice." And he goes,
As he sits upside down in his car, listening
No,
to
'cause,
Joe
like-
Bender.
Mr. Rodgers charges Powerball with me.
"Spirit ball."
Spirit ball.
No, it's a Powerball.
Powerball. Like the lottery. He's at the gas station with a lottery ticket.
Charge the Powerball with me. The cashier's just like looking at her. He's like,
Alright, tell the story, Joe.
He was talking because like all his stories are from like the 70s. And he's like, oh, some fabulous dude made a video about presenting. He's like, Joe, you were in it. And I was like,
oh yeah, you were.
and I was like, oh, I was? He
Yeah,
goes, oh
well,
yeah.
Metallica
He
jokes.
goes, it was really good. And I was like, I hope you don't show that because I'm going to be pissed.
Why?
Everybody loved it.
Yeah, everybody
It's
liked it, but
fantastic.
like everybody in my class in
Oh, he
English
did
was
show it?
like, no, but like everybody in my class is like, but for now, Whiplash.
What?
A Slayer.
It's Mr. Rodgers.
I don't.
Singing Whiplash.
He was like, I beat some ass at McDonald's.
It's like, I got in one fight once.
He was like, I was in McDonald's and I punched him or something.
Here's
I don't know the story.
man.
Oh yeah.
Here's every life lesson.
When I was fat. When I was fat.
I found out I was
He's like, I was driving my car and I flipped it or something. And he's like, I was just sitting there like, whoa.
I got like all the stories are overly dramatic,
Yeah.
but then like one he crashed his car and flipped it
Yeah,
over
he
the
just
ramp,
made it no
and
big
he's
deal.
like, yeah, I flipped my car over, and Ryan Paul's like, what are you doing?
He was like talking about the song he was listening to. He's like, yeah, I was listening to the song and I
Come
flipped
to
my
Take me home.
and then I flipped my car. and then his other stories all dramatic. He's like, I went to McDonald's.
It's like there
Bum,
was.
bum,
The time was 5:15 p.m. I remember it like it was today.
I punched him right in the face.
I
This
once
guy
fought
was
off
like,
5
hey,
men.
bro. And I was like, no way, dude. And then I punched him in the nose.
I remember I used to
Cut his head off.
I cut his head off on Lucifer.